Lesson 6, solving problems with obtuse triangles. So make sure you read through questions all the way through. A survey is in a helicopter and is trying to find the width of a lake. The helicopter is 1,610 meters above the forest and notices that the angle of depression to the opposite shores of the lakes is to be 45 and 82. So let's say this is point A and this is point B. These are the width of the river. And let's say up here we have H, which is the helicopter. So he's looking down, he sees the lengths to have depression of 45, so he looks down and sees 45, or 82. We know that he is 1610 meters above, and the helicopter and the 2 points are in the same vertical plane to determine the width of the lake. So we want to find this side right here. So first, what you should just look first at is that we have two parallel lines cut by a transversal. So the first one we see is this is 45. And we know because of alternate interior angles, this angle is also 45. So angle A is 45, reason being alternate interior. We also have this parallel line cut, and we know from here to here is 82. So that means from here to here is also 82. So angle B on the outside is 82 degrees. So if we're looking at this triangle, A, B, and H, we know this is 45 degrees. We know that angle B is also the same as 180 minus 82, which is 98. So that means that angle H is equal to 180 minus 98 minus 45, which is 37. So there's our first triangle, and we're going to need that triangle second. So let's look at the other triangle we have. So the other triangle we have is a right triangle, and its height is 1,610, and this angle is 82 degrees. So we want to find the hypotenuse. So from the angle, this is our opposite side, this is our hypotenuse, so we are using O and H, so the sine law. So sine of 82 is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Because x is on the bottom, we flip them and divide. So 1610 divided by sine 82, and we should get x to be equal to 1,625.8 meters. So that goes here, 1625.8, because it goes on both triangles. So now we're going to use the sine law to find side H, which we need. So H over sine 37 is equal to, we know 45 and 1625.8. So 1625.8 over sine 45. So H is equal to 1625.8 sine 37 divided by sine 45. And you should get 1,383.7 meters. So the lake is 1383.7 meters wide. That's your final answer. So there's quite a few steps to get to there. Example 2, a communication tower is 35 meters tall. Let's call this tower, and it's a communication tower, so C. David is due north of the tower, so let's choose this direction to be north. And this is David. He looks at the top of the tower, and he looks up to find an angle of elevation of 70 degrees. Now we have Brenda. Brenda's walking on a bearing of 175 degrees. So when you calculate bearing, you start at north and go 175. So that's her bearing. And we see Brenda here. And Brenda's looking up at the tower, and she sees to the top 50 degrees. And we want to find out the distance between Brenda and David. So it's a three-dimensional problem. So we have three different triangles. And I'm going to draw them all out. So we have David, C and T for the communications tower. We have Brenda with the communications tower. And then we have the last one, which is between David, Brenda, and the base of the communications tower. So we need to use this information to solve for our final side, which is right here at C. So we need to find these lengths, D and B. So this is a right triangle. We know that the height of it is 35. Same here. We don't know this distance here and here. And those distances will make up this and this. So our two missing sides on our triangle. So using our sine law, we're going to, or the tangent law actually, we're going to solve for our missing values. So for David, he's making a 70-degree look. So we know the opposite side and the adjacent side. So we're going to use tangent, O and A. So tan of 70 degrees is equal to opposite, which is 35, over adjacent, which is x. So x is equal to 35 divided by tan 70, which is 12.7. So this is 12.7. That means this side right here is 12.7, which means that this side right here is 12.7. Now we're going to solve this triangle. So we know angle B is 50 degrees. We know the opposite side. We need the adjacent side. So again, we're using tan. So tan of 50 degrees is equal to 35 over x. X is equal to 35 divided by tan 50, which is equal to 29.4. So this side is 29.4, which means that this side is 29.4. And we know that this angle is 175, so because we know two sides and the contained angle, we can now use the cosine law. So we're looking for the side opposite of angle C, so C squared is equal to 29.4 squared plus 12.7 squared minus 2 times 29.4 times 12.7 cos of C. I never have enough room. Now we're going to solve. So we're going to type this all into our calculator. So 29.4 squared plus 12.7 squared, you should get 1025.65 minus type 2 times 29.4 times 12.7, you should get 746.76 cos of C, which is 175. And we're going to square root that answer, type it all into your calculator, and you should get 42.1 meters. So Brenda and Dave are 42.1 meters away from each other. Some kind of sentence, and neater than that.